This is probably the scariest presentation I've ever given, so here goes. Roll it. It's personal. I was the co-founder of the Sunday Business Post. It started in my sitting room many moons ago. I'm now in the internet space for the last 10 years or so, and I just want to share some of the things that I've learned from both worlds. First of all, Wall Street Journal was one of my favorite newspapers. It didn't have an image, but I knew how to navigate that newspaper, as did the audience. So the audience is central to design. Hopefully, if we move on to the next one. Okay, standing out from the pack as a traditional media person, you had to get shelf appeal. You had to get stand out. New York Post, various other papers really had that with gripping content and headlines. But also, over time, like Hello magazine, they realized that there was a formula that was called Princess Di in the 80s. And rerunning Princess Di photographs sold and made things walk off the shelf. But so did the catchy headline. The Sun, one word, is now iconic in newspapers. The real heroes of the hour were the sub-editors, the guys who came up with that one headline. And they shifted a hell of a lot of newspapers. Also, you've heard about the fold. What's above the fold, what's below the fold. There was an art about what came into the fold and major fights in newspapers about what stories would appear. And that still holds true because it won't sell. A paper won't sell if it doesn't have a good above the fold kind of message. One of the things we learned early on in the Business Post was to use our metrics. It was very raw, very crude. But every week we were able to say, what was it about that paper that sold? Was it raining? What was the content? What was the image? What would the competition have? So now tripping over into the online world, it's the audience. And you'll be surprised how difficult it is to argue for the audience in web projects. It is so difficult. So personas, you're going to hear all about that kind of stuff. But really trying to get a good grip on the audience. But also the robots, the Google robots who are there trawling the internet, getting this awful PDF kind of stuff, and this is what they see. And that, unfortunately, is the robot experience, which isn't very, very good. People think that they can just design for one medium and not the other. And then there's the boss. The boss rules okay. The boss, you've got to fight the boss every tooth and nail for every project and fight for the audience. But unfortunately, the boss and his colour scheme and his likes and what his granddaughter or whatever likes rules okay. A lot of the new online newspapers, Huffington Post being among them, have taken a lot of what works in a print environment and are not preferred to clear the homepage for a very important, and so are some local. This is the journal.ie, was involved with it earlier this year. One story, one tweet got nearly 10,000 views through Twitter because they actually realised that the content still delivers the audience. And check out the site at thejournal.ie and on Twitter. Tons and tons of tools that you can still use to measure and respond. So use those tools to improve the design. So hopefully next one will roll. Okay, but there's a problem. I think there's a problem. The problem is this: that you're not reading on your screen. The screen is getting smaller and smaller. And do you actually read on the screen? The answer is no. You scan. You have a very, very different experience. And I would believe that print has got to have a role in the way forward. I get over 100 emails a day. That's not my email box, but I feel under siege every morning. I put that on there. But I get a piece of paper that is important to me, that's relevant to me, and I certainly will read it. So email and all of this, and you can still make a very, very powerful statement with print that you'll never, ever do on the internet. That was obviously 9/11 when there was a wash, but that was a sellout cover for the New Yorker. But also, there are other things where really newspapers record history more than the internet will ever do. That was sold out at 7 a.m. the day after the election. They're now trading, I don't know for what, on eBay. But that's because newspapers are the first draft of history. But also, there's only things that print can do, and that's certainly images, and National Enquirer being some of them. So I regret that the newspapers are on their knees. I still continue to buy them probably when I'm on my Zimmer frame. And also, as somebody in the internet world, I still do print. It's called State of the Net. A different impact when the print version hits versus the online version. It's on our website. I get a very, very different response, and for that reason, I'll continue to put some trees out. So really, the takeaway: Play to the strengths of the medium and don't forget about print. Thank you.